Welcome to lesson 3. We're getting into the ATG Split Squat. The better you get at your sled, your bodyweight Paul Ekman step up, and your Patrick step ups and or Peterson step ups, the more juice you have in your VMOs, the more ankle mobility you have, the more warmth you have to now get deep into the ATG Split Squat, which must be done as a precursor to the squat since you have 2 legs and the split squat will even them out. So regression and progression, we're gonna go show you live. It's as simple as higher box, if needed, assisted, and we milk the bottom quarter reps before we go to full reps, and then obviously lower and weighted, and you're gonna see what that looks like. Now the results from the split squat are not normally such an immediate thing. This exercise is one that gets into a bulletproofing concept, and what that means is I find when an athlete's done about 10,000 loaded split squats, so that would be, say, 5 sets of 5, twice a week for 4 years. When you get into that 10,000 range, you just stop having the tweaks, the injuries, your recovery time is better. You have to think about your entire lower body. Any imbalances in there for an athlete lead to more trauma in the playing surface. Rarely do both ankles get sprained and both hips hurt, and you have all these little injuries that accumulate from a career. This helps work all that out, and it provides a basis for speed and jumping because you're getting your legs stronger, and you're getting your legs stronger with ankle and hip mobility. So I would put this almost as like a #1 overall athleticism exercise, but for full strength development, like the squat, because I could also say that the squat is the king, a full squat is the king of vertical jump strengthening. The trick is, I would still pick the split squat because I know it's a safer progression, but by doing the split squat, you're now gonna have an easier time driving up your squat. And I find that where most athletes start to hit a failure on the squat is due to an inability or imbalance in the split squat. So let's go take a look at how we would actually get people into this. Filippo here is an example of an athlete who can do a 100% body weight bar on front ATG split squat. So you're gonna see him doing that. Connor, you could stand maybe here and kind of examine us back and forth. As you see, I set up this rack, ultimately regressed. And what that means is assisted, so you can put a client in the rack with their foot on a box as high as 1 foot. You're on the back toes, and now as you go down, you're trying to keep your torso upright, which puts the weight on the front foot. If the back knee bends, there's not as much weight here. If I lean forward, there's not as much weight there. So by having the torso perfectly vertical and the back knee off the floor, and as you get more flexible, that determines if you'll be able to go lower and lower to the ground. You can now get a split squat for just about anybody. In this state though, if you're so weak that you need assistance, if you're so tight that you need to go high, you're better off going down and getting 4 bottom quarter reps. 3, and then on the 4th, coming all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and coming up. And notice my heel is lifting. So my heel is lifting because this would still be a good rep. And that's a good balance between ankle and knee, but this is knee ability. And by going all the way, there's a little more coverage there. So you know when you're at full coverage. And because of the rest of the program, and because you are putting weight on your ankle, you're still gonna get amazing ankle mobility benefits, but that puts maximal on the knee. You about to go for one? Go. All right, let's take a look here. So this is his body weight and additional load. He can also do a double body weight on a front squat. This gives him a foundation of strength between sides. You can see there, full hamstring over the calf, and explode up, beautiful. So, absolutely crushing it, 100 kilos, perfect form. And notice how the weight did not change his form. A big thing I see is guys will start doing their split squat, and it'll turn into like this, and they'll say, I don't have the mobility, but that's not true. Anyone can build mobility, outstanding. And it's worth noting when you get to heavier loads, you definitely don't have to go back and forth the way he did. You could take a break between sides, because your back hip flexors are still working really hard as well. So split squat's one where you can have a client take a little more break. Now, I'll run you through it. Filippo, thanks for that. You can do whatever the hell you want. Okay. You can keep working out, whatever. So, now I'm gonna run you through, and we'll do almost like a little montage here of what the progress will look like. So you start a client here, they're assisted, 1, 2, 3, 4. Eventually they start getting where they can handle it without their hands. Okay, and if you look at how much weight is on the front leg, as you go lower, and it doesn't have to be 6-inch jumps, it could be much smaller, even a 1-inch jump, you'll notice now you have to get a little bit longer step, because instead of stopping there, there's even more range to go. But I'm not compromising the depth here. I'm not letting my heel touch the floor. And then I'm working those 1, 2, 3, 4. And when a client's doing that flat ground, and the key is no pain. So in my knee right now, you want to get to where they're doing that, and there's just no pain in the joint. There's no reason to start doing full reps or adding load until they can do this. Plus they're getting super flexible hip flexors. Once they can do that, boom, then you can start loading. But every session, no matter how strong you get, you start with just your own weight. The first step would be holding some dumbbells. So this would actually represent an endpoint, because these are 10 kilo dumbbells and the bar is 20 kilos, so this is 20 kilos. But you would progress to 10 kilos each hand before the bar, and the reason is because if you get into trouble with dumbbells, you can drop them, and notice it's a lower center of gravity. When they're up here, it's tougher to balance. So progress with dumbbells at your sides until 10 kilos each hand. Then you would start loading bar on front. The reason for bar on front is twofold. Bar on back, first off, what happens if you hit failure here? I don't want to find out if that bar shrugs off your shoulders back with your leg there. Bar on front, on the other hand, you can have weights on the end of the bar, get into trouble, and you can just duck out of the bar. Plus, with bar on back, I could lean forward and cheat a little bit easier. Bar on front, notice this, boom, it really pulls me upright and locks in that form. So, right here, full coverage, hamstring over calf, without the back knee touching. And then you can drive up. So an advanced athlete is going to start body weight, then bar, then start making jumps, no more than 10 kilo at a time. And the top that I recommend is, as Filippo demonstrated, your own body weight and additional load. Could he go heavier than that? He absolutely could, but he's probably better off just getting where this gets easier, more reps, and then saving his all-out strength for something like a front squat. For him, probably then, once his front squat is feeling good, then probably even like a back squat with chains, because his back squat form is gonna be outstanding from all these split squats. So once you get to that level of strength, I just think it's probably more worth your time. Save the all-out work now for double leg and keep the split squat at body weight. Again, doesn't mean you can't go higher, but just looking at the risk to reward, we haven't seen that you have to go higher than this to become a world-class athlete. That's what we know to date. These are all the progressions and regressions to date. This is how I've gotten 80-year-olds into split squats. And remember, bottom line, you don't have to rush a client into split squat. A knee ability session of just reverse sled, body weight Pollock step up, and then Patrick step up, those three alone, done twice a week, will start giving the progress that eventually the split squat will feel good. So thank you for watching. This week, what I wanna see, I wanna see you get yourself and another into perfect form split squat at whatever level. But to graduate the course, I'm gonna need to see barbell, pain-free, perfect form in yourself and another. How much weight? That doesn't matter, but getting to barbell for yourself and another will be needed to graduate and have a knee ability certification. Remember that for any certification in real movement, there's also a black belt level where you can teach another. You would actually have to get up to full body weight with perfect form if you want to be able to certify another in knee ability. So your immediate certification level, perfect form with barbell for yourself and another, and your long-term black belt status, body weight.